So I just saw Friendship. Good cast, some funny moments, but overall a lost opportunity. And what a time to profile an American male and the subject of friendship, when studies show people, especially men, are suffering a friendship recession. Does director Andrew DeYoung live in a bubble? Didn't any of his friends alert him to this? Or anyone on the production team? I mean, this is a topic that surfaces in the media with the regularity of climate change, wealth inequality, immigration, and articles asking why doesn't everybody love the WNBA. This movie did not address this issue at all, the issue about friendship recession. And holy ironies, Batman, the movie's called Friendship. And it is a pretty significant problem when people don't have friends. Okay, time out. This is starting out really negative, but you see, I really was looking forward to seeing this. I wanted to like this movie. I was aching for a good comedy. I'm just like most Americans, going through some dark times, looking forward to something to get me through the bitterness of everyday life until Superman and the Fantastic Four take me away. And let's be real, there's no guarantee those two are gonna do the trick. So yeah, I was really looking forward to this, to the lighthearted, breezy charm of Paul Rudd, and the erratic, explosive comedy stylings of Tim Robinson.
I said once! You can't talk! Chunky, the mouth on the... Don't come over by me! So now you gotta burn. Hey, hold that door! Hold that door! I think I'm ready to hold the baby now.
And it's got Rick Worthy from Battlestar Galactica. And this guy likes to yell.
Take a shower? You take a shower and sit the... Yes! Shut up! You shut the f*** up!
3 problems: tone, characters, and friendship, which it ain't really about. 1. The tone. There are literal unsettling moments in the film when you don't know if his wife or kid or random customer service agent is gonna try to murder him. And by him I mean Craig, the main character played by Tim Robinson. The tone, it's like that creepy A24 ingredient. It's baked into every production. And I love that vibe. It works in horror and thriller movies very well. But it doesn't work here. The film is punctuated with some funny moments, but then the mood takes over the dial and tunes you back into the unsettling creep fest. And this is definitely influenced by 2. The characters. The trailer makes it seem like Tim Robinson's character Craig is just your average Joe, or your average Craig. Then meets this charming, funny, interesting, cool guy, Austin, played by Paul Rudd. And nothing feels better than when the cool guy thinks that you're cool. And the trailer hints at maybe a subversive side to Austin. Maybe he's gonna toy around with Craig, maybe pull a mind job on him. You know, one of those movies where the main character meets someone interesting and they turn out to be a psycho.
Why are you doing this to me?
I can be your best friend or your worst enemy. You seem to prefer the latter.
Don't do that, Jesus Christ! You're gonna get me killed!
Oh, Billy.
The first act is largely summed up in the trailer. Craig's wife sets up a hangout for Craig with their new neighbor Austin. After a few hangout sessions with Austin's friends, Craig is dumped by Austin. And things get wacky. Or so the trailer implies. And here's where character really does a number on tone. The character of Craig is set up like your average lovable sitcom schlep of a dad. Awkward, goofy, doesn't know what's what. But he's living in a movie where the tone shifts from very grounded, almost documentary style to, as I've said, a borderline creepy cult movie. And the character has these bouts of being in a comedy skit, particularly in I Think You Should Leave skit. And I love I Think You Should Leave. But this isn't a sketch show. It's a movie with a grounded tone and a sitcom dad with bouts of sketch comedy madness. And the movie opens at a support group where his wife talks about recovering from cancer. Dude, I came here to laugh. And that's another thing. We first meet Craig and he seems like a supportive husband and father. The teenage son largely seems to ignore him. And it's pretty evident to everyone but Craig that his wife is cheating on him with her ex, a big handsome firefighter. This makes Craig sympathetic to us, which then makes Austin's rejection of him even more impactful. Good job, writer-director. But then the script undermines that when Craig starts behaving like he's in a comedy skit. Overreacting to things, screaming at people, eating soap while being oblivious to the fact he just hurt his new prized friend. This doesn't jibe with the caring, supportive husband we were first introduced to. It's like the character is 2 different people, which is fine for a comedy skit, but it's not. It's a movie with a creepy tone. And this brings me to the third problem, the friendship. There isn't one, really. Yes, there's the meet cute, or not so cute, soda shop and breakup as outlined in the trailer. But then the Craig Austin story thread takes a back seat for some significant portion of the movie.
Met with Paul, and he wanted to be in the movie more. Like, that character's in the movie less. And basically he went away the whole second act.
While Craig tries to salvage his marriage, help his wife with her floral business, get the home life back on track even as it implodes. He takes her on a little adventure in the sewer that leads into City Hall. It's the same little trip that Austin took Craig on earlier in the film, but of course, where Austin's trip succeeded as a risky bonding moment, Craig's backfires. I mean, this is a comedy, wacky stuff should ensue. I don't want to make it sound like a totally unfun experience. Friendship has its moments. Paul Rudd is fun, but he's not in the film that much, or as much as you would expect if the prime relationship thread was between his character and Robinson's. And Tim Robinson is funny. There are several funny moments, but also a lot of cringe ones, and some people like that. But then when he's acting like he's in a sketch, but everyone else is acting like regular people, it just seemed sad. Funny in a sketch, sad in a movie where you're watching a rejected man torpedo his own life. At times, the tone made me feel like I was watching Craig Zobel's 2012 film, Compliance. That's a good movie, where a detective calls up a fast food restaurant to investigate an alleged crime and orders around the staff to hold each other in custody and interrogate each other. But someone ain't who they claim to be. It's based on a true story. That's a film where the creepy tone is appropriate. Check that one out. This indie film also reminded me of another unsuccessful indie movie, Big Fan, with Patton Oswalt, which examined the relationship sports fans have with their heroes, and how worshipping them is maybe misplaced since they do not care about you. And an extreme example of this takes place in the movie, where Patton Oswalt's character gets to meet his idol, who then hospitalizes him. But instead of examining a character who's had his world upended, it degenerates into a showdown with a rival sports fan personality played by Michael Rapaport. I really wanted to like that movie too. And like Friendship, I kinda half recommend it if you want to see what a film looks like when they shot a rough draft of the script and not a final draft.
I'm Richard Reeves. I'm a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, and my latest book is Of Boys and Men, Why the Modern Male is Struggling, Why That Matters, and What to Do About it. We've seen a real decline in the number of people who say that they have a number of close friends. What's striking about this trend is it's much greater for men than for women.
This is really kinda galling. Like, there's really no way for the filmmakers not to be aware of this. So logic dictates that they must be.
Logical. Flawlessly logical.
And while making a movie related to this theme, do they just think that it's a joke that this is happening in society? Like, good riddance to the losers? Of course, what do I expect? The tagline for Friendship is, men shouldn't have friends, which is oddly inert from a comedy standpoint. And also, are the producers looking at the social problem of male friendship deficit and thinking, we need more of it? Not to get too political, but this does echo a kind of woke intimation that all men are bad. And therefore we need to keep them isolated. 'Cause when they get together...
It was murder.
Well, to that I say, marginalizing people and attempting to control them through isolation doesn't yield good results either. And from a marketing standpoint, the tagline is blah, as I said, inert, a nothing burger, maybe something more suggestive of Craig's wild character. Like add some. Some men shouldn't have friends. Really surprised they didn't go with that. The tagline really reflects a fear of taking a stance in any particular direction. Of course, you don't want to be on the nose and say, friendship. We all should have friends. That's a lame tagline. But stating men shouldn't have friends doesn't sound like any interesting perspective is being put forth at all.
Oh no, you guys will like this one a little better.
Many men don't have friends. As a lonely male in this country, how could you go about making some new friends?
Let those friendships form a foundation of shared empathy and humor and not shared anger and aggression.
Wow.
How do you make friends? That's a question echoing through the transom. Paul Rudd says some nice things here, and it's fundamentally sound. The problem is, it's useless as advice. Nobody goes out scanning for friends by analyzing value systems. That does come into play after you've met someone who has a value system you can assess. But first you gotta get out there and meet people, find people who share your interests, and make a point to meet up in person. I like street hockey and screenwriting, so those are two groups I go to on meetup.com, and I've met some people that way. There's also a screenwriting workshop that I've been attending for over 20 years, and through that led me to reading a lot of spec scripts from aspiring writers. And the script for this film had several red flags that clearly needed a few more rewrites to clear up. Like Austin's wife. Is she in this movie or not? Craig's character's wild turns. The tone. Is it grounded or is it meant to convey a sense of paranoia? That everyone is out to get Craig? Or is it that he perceives everyone that way? What a bummer. This had a few laughs, but was a lost opportunity. I do not recommend Friendship, unless you're a Paul Rudd or Tim Robinson completist, and some of us are, or you catch it on a rainy, friendless afternoon where you can watch someone who's worse off than you and me both. Get out there, find a friend, and thanks for clicking in.
He made me do it. He told me to do it.
Please, move back.